Hey everybody, it's about Tyler. We're at OG Gamers Live, OG Gamers World, and we're back. And it's gonna be kind of a boring video for some of you, but I just wanted to answer a few questions that I've been getting because I've been talking about doing this Intel balance build for a while, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. I say get around to doing it. I've had some of the parts for a while, and I finally ordered the rest of the parts, and they should be here sometime this upcoming week, and then I'll finally be able to start that build. And I'm excited about it for several reasons. Uh, it's not going to be the latest and greatest when it comes to technology. It's not going to be 14th gen and all the costs associated with doing uh, a cutting edge build.
_gamer live is now live. Streaming PUBG, Battlegrounds. Let's talk about the upcoming number Intel number INTE ARc number balanced PC build and why we are doing it.
Oh, I don't know why it's saying that because I'm not streaming PUBG and I did not tag PUBG, but apparently it thinks that I am. I apologize. I do normally game and stream at the same time, which we'll touch on that here in a minute. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this balanced build. And like I said, it's not going to be using the latest and greatest technology for several reasons, and we're going to try to address that. Number one would be budget, but to be fair, I could have went with a better processor that I went with, and I may still go ahead and order one, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is what I've went with. And keep in mind, I have a lot of this already here. I say a lot of it. I went ahead and substituted the Fantech Etho Evolve X in satin black because this one is $179.99 and has a $10 rebate. The case that I have here is the one that's in silver, and I got it 4 years ago. I've never used it, but today that case is $425. I couldn't justify recommending a $425 case just because it's silver when I can get that exact same case in satin black or white for less than half the cost. But because I'm using what I have here, we went with this case. The same goes with the SSD drive. I already have that here. I had to have one for a product review a couple months ago, so I've got it right. And y'all may be hearing my dog. He waits until I start doing video. Then he gets up and he runs around and he gets extremely active, and he's old. So he starts coughing and wheezing and carrying on like he's fixing to die. And I apologize. He's 15 years old. And I've had a lot of people tell me that, well, you ought to just carry him to the vet and have him put him to sleep, but he's not ready to go. And why don't you get somewhere and lay down and settle down, old man? Yes. Come here. I think you just want me to pick you up. To get you up here in the video is what it is. Oh my goodness. I apologize, y'all. But he is the baby. So we have to pay a little attention to him and see if we can get him to settle down a little bit here. Why don't you go lay down and behave? Huh? He's the baby. Why don't you go lay down? He's not going to. He won't settle down until I quit videoing, and then he'll be like, okay. But I've done lost track, like the Western Digital Drive. I had to have that for a product review, so I already have that here. If you've been following my channel for a long time, then y'all should remember the Intel ARc A770 from a series of reviews and testing that I did last year. And I already have that. And I ordered the Intel i7 12700K because we're trying to do a balanced build to match this card. No! Go lay down. My dog is seriously acting up over here, just being a spoiled brat. Hey, David, how you doing? My dog is interrupting my stream and will not settle down. I went with the ASRock Z690 Tai Chi. Y'all don't laugh. It's the last gen board. It supports DDR5. In 2022, when that board launched, it was $590. By the time you paid tax, you might as well say $600. I couldn't justify paying $600 then, and I couldn't now. But I can justify the $209.99 because this solves some workflow problems that I have. I have a lot of equipment that uses Thunderbolt 3. This has Thunderbolt 4 already built in. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry about that. He's insists on being that he runs the show around here. I've done forgot where I was. Oh yes, the Thunderbolt 4 is already built in. It has two combo USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports. I don't have to buy an add-in card to use my Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt 4 is backward compatible with Thunderbolt 3, so that solves a huge problem that I've been dealing with, and it allows me a little bit of an upgrade path on the 12 gen. I can go to either a 12900. I can go to anything in the 13th gen Intel, no problem. I didn't go with a 13th gen CPU at this time because of the ongoing drama between Intel and the motherboard manufacturers. A lot of people are experiencing degradation on their 13th gen Intel CPUs, and Intel says it's the motherboard manufacturer's fault because their default power profiles are too aggressive, and when you use the default power profile that the motherboard manufacturer is setting their motherboards up with, that it's pushing the Intel CPUs out of spec. It's just, I just wanted to avoid all that. I'm not seeing any of that drama over on the 12th gen, and I couldn't justify the premium that I would have had to spend to go to a 14th gen. So this is where we ended up. We went with the best bang for the buck. Now, because I've got some stuff up for sale and it may sell, I may end up changing this out to an i9. And I went, because I am going with an i7 for now, I went with the cheapest cooler I could find that would actually work with that. The RAM this is RAM that I've used before. It's tried and true. So I went with what I was saying with the power supply. I didn't have to have an 850 watt power supply for this build. However, I do plan on upgrading it to an i9. I do plan on adding some other stuff later. So it was best to leave a little headroom on the power supply so I wouldn't have to upgrade the power supply anytime soon. And because I've got this everything is in here, this build before tax is $1,342.91. You might as well say it's a $1,500 PC. I don't have that in it, but that's what it would cost to build it today. And the why I'm doing it, we're going to come back, start off with, first off, I'm replacing a system in the back that's a 6th generation Intel i7. And I've had it, so I've done forgot what year I got it, like 8-9 years ago, maybe even 10. It's a 6th gen Intel i7 6700. It should have been updated a long time ago, but I still use it to this day. And if all I was doing was gaming, it plays AAA games just fine. If all I was doing is streaming, it does streaming just fine. The problem is I do gaming and streaming. I do content creation and stuff, and it'll do everything just fine except game and stream because of all the changes they keep making to the AAA games. There's just a lot. It should have been replaced a long time ago. It would still make somebody a really good gaming PC if that's all they wanted to do was game on it, and they didn't care about gaming and streaming. It's still good for that. It'll still run Adobe and DaVinci and Cubase and Reaper, any number of bits of software that a content creator could want to run. It'll run it just fine. However, it is a 6th gen Intel, and it will not support Windows 11. Windows 10 is on its way out. There will not be any more support for Windows 10 after the end of the year, and I'm not about to pay for a ridiculous subscription service to support Windows 10. On top of that, I'm trying to set up, because I do work back there. And unfortunately, I do not have enough room at the back to move this entire system to the back. So I'm going to upgrade that system to get it to where I can do the same work back there that I'm doing up here right off the bat. That way, when it gets really hot this summer, I'm not trying to cool off this whole shack. I'm just trying to cool one room. I've got to get that light bill down. Don't want to get back into gaming and streaming and all that. I've got to reduce the cost. So long term, we're going to be moving the gaming to the back. Another reason is I want to finish up my testing and my reviews with the ARc A770. There's a lot of good video out there, but there's also a lot of video out there that's I'm trying to figure out a polite way to put this because they're just flat out wrong, and it's misinformation. Some of it they don't mean to be. So I don't know. Some of it they're trying to demonstrate a feature, and they don't even understand what feature it is that they're actually demonstrating. The ASRock ARC series of cards natively support Intel's Deep Link technology. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's why I spent a little extra and got the 12700K is so I could have the UHD onboard graphics. Because if you have an Intel CPU with onboard graphics, you can use that onboard graphics to act as an accelerator card for your graphics card. Like I said, the ARC cards support it natively. You don't have to do anything. You just install it and go. DaVinci Resolve will make use of it. Adobe Premiere Pro will make use of it. There's a lot of different programs that'll just make use of it without you having to do anything. I also want to point out that if you have an Intel CPU with onboard graphics, that feature will work with any graphics card that you have, provided that you can get into BIOS and set it up. Whereas you don't have to set it up with the ARC. That's not, and nobody's covered that. Nobody's talked about it. Nobody's demonstrated it. Intel hyped it, but they didn't take their information videos any farther than telling you that it was there. They don't tell you how to set it up. They don't tell you how to make it work. They don't tell you anything. So we're going to finish that out and get that done, and that will wrap up my series on the ARC A770. Which leads me into why I may just go ahead and get the i9, have it on hand. Because as it stands right now, Intel is supposed to release the Battle Mage series of graphics cards come October or November. And I'm supposed to be in line to get one. I haven't heard nothing lately. I may not get one, but if I do, I want to be in a position to where I can do the full review and all the testing on it and not have to make people wait a year to get all the information on that card when it's no longer relevant. I will say this, though, if you're on a budget, that A770 is still the card to get in that price class. There's no doubt about it. If you have to have a video card today, that card's it, hands down. So much so that I'm doing a build around it, and that is going to be one of my personal computers that I use every day. If I get a battle mage and I get to replace that card and upgrade it, hey, that's great. If I don't, that's fine too. If you follow the channel, then you know
that when I first got that card that I pulled, I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's an RTX 3090 Ti Founders Edition card. It's a great card, but I pulled that card out for a month and ran the A770 for a month. It did not miss 3090 Ti.
I was able to game and stream and do my editing, anything I wanted to do just fine. Is the 3090 Ti a better card? Yes, it is. But at the end of the day, I didn't miss it in my everyday workflow. The only time I would have missed it is if I was working on 4K B-RAW or 8K RAW footage and stuff like that. I don't do a lot of that anymore. Literally, I didn't have any to work on the entire month that I ran the ARC, so I didn't get to try it on 8K and all that on B-RAW. But as far as just day-to-day video production, editing like GoPro at 5.3K, 4K, whatever, it was fine. And that particular system doesn't have an Intel CPU in it. It's an AMD 5900X. And I didn't miss the 3090 Ti. So that's why I'm doing the build the way I'm doing it. I hope that helps. Once the parts get here, I don't know if I want to try to just film it and edit it, put it up, or if I just want to live stream it. The problem is I don't have anybody to help me either way with cameras. So it wouldn't be a great video either way if I tried to film the entire build and put that up as a build video. What I may do is just live stream it from one or two angles, rig up a couple of cameras, and set that up to where y'all can watch me as I'm building it and setting it up. That might be kind of fun. And then I'll take clips of what I'm doing and we'll do a finished build and some testing and stuff like that. That's what you have to do when you don't have any help. Unfortunately, even JZ2 Cents has a cameraman. So does Paul's Hardware. They've all got cameraman, somebody to help with the cameras and editing and stuff. I don't. I see a lot of people doing a lot of cool stuff with cell phones. I just can't get there. So we're going to wrap that up right here. And until next time, y'all stay safe wherever you are in the world today. And I'm out of here.